Hey, William Thomas. How are you doing today? Thanks for the good luck. How did you finish up on your round? That's great to hear. Just doing a few last little minute setups. Started off with a minus 15 front. That's very nice. That always happens. The back is tougher anyway. The drops are there, but I'm only getting 2 drops and then missing 3 on all of mine so far. So I have 3 minus 27s. But maybe we'll break it with this. Alright, so we're going to go max plus 10%. 6 top, 3 left. We're going to do half a ball left curl and 2 rings of overpowered. We'll be setting up where the ball guide goes through the blank space in the snow. You know, William, at least you're in the weekend. And a minus 15 front 9, that's pretty impressive. There are a lot of people out there who aren't even breaking 20. $7.4 is going to be 6.6. I'm going to push this to max. Half ball left girl. Little OP. We hit perfect. Hopefully we can get into thorn range. Although I've dropped more grizzlies than thorns. $383, so we're going to be grizzly. I mean, it's a tough course. It's not playing consistently. You know, you can take the same shot and get different results multiple times. All right, here we go. So 10, 15, we'll play from there. That's 75%. And minus 15, 7.3 is going to be 6.5. Little needle lag. That got me. It's the first time I've had needle lag today. Drop this one on both sides. It's a good drop. But like that, I don't know why that went left side. Because it should have been the right side. 15 rings is 75%. I got that right. I did minus 15. But yet it still apparently was over adjusted. The only hole that I have consistently dropped is 7. The trip was good. You know, got to see family. Got to visit my grandma. You know, she's out of the hospital now, so back at home. So, you know, then I got home around 8 o'clock. Started working on the notes. Finished them around 3 a.m. Got up at 7. Streamed a couple of rounds. You played drive yardage. I always try to count my rings. When you see my sliders, they're always listed as counted rings. Because when I get in and practice, I will time out a couple shots and count the rings. And you played minus 20. That's another thing. It really depends on where you land. The lower down you land, the higher the elevation. So up by the fringe, you're going to have, say, minus 20, minus 15. And then as you get lower, it goes all the way down to minus 10. So I could have landed a little high. But from that picture right here, I've been playing minus 15 for all my drops. I mean, I just dropped it the account before this. All right. So 2.7 back, 2.4 right, 40% club plus 20%. We're going to set our spins, and we're going to look for our spot. It's a little bit of a sticky spot. You'll watch, I'll probably set up a little far right, and as I move, you'll notice the guy doesn't really move much. After we finish this 9, we're going to have a little fun playing expert on my baby account with extra mile 6. You tried to play white by the fringe. Hey Flappy, how you doing? Thanks for popping by. Nice shot by our opponent. Alright, let's see if we can drop this. So 2.4 right, 2.7 back. Bullseye's going to be near that little white area. So as you notice, when I move, and then I'm going to go right below that. 7.7 is going to be 8.2. I'm going to try to pull straight. I'm going to give slight left curl. We get the right side of perfect, but we still get the drop. I had a little too much curl on there because it come in on the left side of the pin. I've been hitting center. So Flappy, it really depends on your bracket. So most of my bracket have had minus 29. Let's see where this one is. Minus 29. There's been at least one minus 29, one minus 30 in almost all of my brackets. But after that, it goes 27. This is a tougher bracket than most of my others because I generally don't have 5 under minus 28. Thanks for the boom, William. So it's very possible, Flappy, since you're in here, I'll open this for you. I know you like the prism. But if you got lucky and got a weaker bracket, choices. Falcon 7, B-52 7 are both huge. I'll go with the B-52. 31 leading your expert too. There's a guy leading one of mine with a minus 30. His qualifier was minus 10. His opening round was minus 22. Then he gets a minus 30 in the weekend. Talk about saving it. You see those every now and then. And it's like, how? How did this guy get that score? I need some kingmakers. Minus 25 opening, minus 10 qualifier. I had one account that did the opposite, Flappy. I had a minus 16 qualifier, a minus 23 opening, and a minus 27 weekend. It's like that one was on a roller coaster. Alright, so I need my second bag. Got my kingmaker in. This hole has been nothing but pain. I can't get a consistent roll on it. $17 under on the back. Oof. That's a strong back 9. I've been meaning to look at the slice for this, and I keep forgetting. Every time I play it, I'm like, oh, I should practice. I want to try the slice. Because I really kind of want to try to slice and then go on the right side up. I just don't have the consistency to hit perfect as much as these top guys. If I could get my timing down better and hit perfect, I'd probably do better. So my only advantage right now is I have all of my old hold data. And then, you know, I can think through the shots a lot. So plus 10%, 7.9 is going to be 7.0. I'm just going to go max top I can and 3 left. 7 rings. We have a little over 1 ring of overpower. We hit perfect. Yeah, the eagle on the front was a little bit easier. With the exception of one bad drive, I was putting most of them. Had a few fringe shots, but the majority of them were putts on the front. It's the headwind that really kills this. The back-to-back headwind. It's what makes it harder. Plus, from the left side, you've got that ridge that if you fall either side of it, it throws your ball off. I think I went pretty long here. Yeah, pretty long. Three right. We'll go 3 top. And move our 20 rings. 10. 20. That should put us in a pretty decent spot. But yeah, this one's been a pain. I'll try tweaking it forever. You know, I'd set up center, end up on the left side, set up on the right side, end up on the left side, a little more on the right side, end up on the right side. It was just all over. I think on the last one I was on the right side. And I don't think I did anything wrong. Unlucky. Probably end up in that same spot. Okay, so there's max. 10. 15. Plus 17. Use some spins. 8.8. 17 rings is 72%. So 5 rings. I pulled wrong. I saw that angle on that pull. Yeah. That was a heavy pull. Pulled like 12-10. Now that is why some do what's called pin check, which is where you see where the plus yardage marks on a club for a certain target on the green, and then use that for your slider so you don't have to count rings and you can move a little faster. So it doesn't look like I'm getting 12 at all, because the last account doesn't have a prayer. It's a drop if it gets birdie. Alright. 0.9 top, 2 left, 79% club, plus 45% elevation. So there's our 2 left. There's 0.9 top. Now we're going to find our spot, which is short center pin, which we are not. There we go. 7.9 is going to be 12.2. Let's see what side of the cup we burn. Right side. Hopefully, we can get 7 and either 5 or 8 or 6. But 6 will take a little bit of luck. I do have luminaries on this account, so that'll help. Still quite a few people out there playing. We got 5 people watching the notes. Oh, hole 5 next. This hole is another one where you had to be just right. I don't know how many times it's been just on the left or right edge. It's a good consistent shot. It just takes really good precision. All right, max plus 5%. 3 top, 3 right. And APOC 6 is red ring at the right rough. We are going to set up half of the blue ring at plus 0. 8.8 will be 7.5 rings. So there's 3 right, 3 top. $7.5, and we're going to use the left edge of the ball at the inner ring with no overpower. Always burn the left edge. So you do want to make sure you're setting up on the right side of the pin guide kind of fully in the cup. Yeah, I was making sure I said that in the notes. The picture's a little off. Kind of hard to tell, but if I zoom in on it, I can see that I'm right at the pin. I didn't look at my yardage. 352 is 73%. I was looking at the picture. So 73% is about 2 rings from +0. Or 15 rings total. Which is what we got here. 15 rings. $9.1. Of course, we get king win. 7.2. I got the wrong club. 9.9. And we over adjusted. It's because it's supposed to be... Must have had a pull angle in my rush. If you pull 1201, it'll pull you further left. And more past the cup. If you're finishing dead length, you're pulling a little 1159. Oh, it was 352? Yeah, that says I should have adjusted another 0.1. But I could have adjusted wrong. On these holes, on the rough bumps, pull angle can make a difference. You know, if it's something with a funnel, you can be a little looser with your pull angle. But not so much on these shots. Hey, Mike Fox. Not much. Just trying to finish up another long tournament. How are you doing? Alright, so we're going to put our luminary in. Yep, I got 26 of them. Switch to P5 here. +10 on our APOC. We're going to set up at the bottom of the +12 with the blue ring at the left rough. On hole 14. 12 is tough. I didn't drop 12. I kept missing it by anywhere from a ball to a cup. Both sides of the cup too. If I was consistently on one side, I'd know what I was doing wrong. Hey Trig, how you doing? Greetings to you too. How is Texas right now? How's the weather? That's funny. You can try to match up with somebody sometimes, and it's really hard. And then when you're not trying to, You just happen to sync up. You dropped it because you hit great. That's what happened to me when I got the albatross on this hole. Slight great and dropped it. Hit perfect and it goes left of the pin. Great left and it drops. Figure that one out. Say bottom of the plus 12. We have 7.1. So we're going to go 6.7 rings. Max overpower. Curl. We got a perfect. That's always relief. Good bounce. Going a little right. As you noticed when I was curling that, I did not fully go to the left edge of the triangle, which is why we were so close to the rough. Oh, you didn't draw it. Didn't drop it because of great. On that hole, when I hit perfect, I'm sure it's not dropping. Hole 12. Great didn't cost me the drop on any of them. The only thing I can come up with is pull angle with certain winds. That's great. Glad you got the albatross. So we're at plus 6. Now we're going to spin. Right there. 7.5. And plus 6 is 62%. So 6.3 rings. I hit the great left. Of course. This time it won't finish in. Died on me. It was in line. Same here, Mike. I've hit so many greats. And I don't feel like I'm letting go any different. It's almost as if it's just bumping. Here's what it is. They're priming us for the new perfect zone ball. If they release it. They're going to be like, did all of those greats kill you in the tournament? Buy this ball. 48. Not too bad. We finally got cold yesterday after those storms came through. It still wasn't bad. It was about 50 today. Okay, back to P3. Plus 20%. Got our Titan. So we're going to do 5.8 top, 0.9 left. We're going to find our spot. Adjust. Push up 5 rings. And use left curl until the right side of the ball is on the inner ring. We have low wind. 3, 4, 5.8. 0.9 left. Find our spot right before the ball guide starts to bend. 8.3 is going to be 8.1. Push up 5 rings. Slight grate should be fine. Alright, good luck on 15. Low wind killed our rollout. We clipped the rough a second time, but it's okay. Yeah, that would have been pretty bad. That would have been some horrible luck. All the renovations, all the new heating and air, and then a tornado wipe out the house. Nothing like, you know, feeling like you just burned your money. But no, it stopped the county right before us. So all we got is a lot of high wind, rain, some flooding, but nothing big. You know, some people were, I think about 1,000 people were without power, or 1,000 households. So not horrid. So we got a fairly straight win, which is nice, and we should be about mid-club. So that's 50, about 58. $8.7 is going to be 5.8 rings. Some more great. But I set up on the right side of the pin for a reason. Hey, John Bell, thanks for the good luck. How did your round go? So unless we drop 8, looks like I'm bound for another minus 27. Just has my numbered. Can't crack it. Thanks for the boom, William. That's a nice shot by our opponent. This hole here has been most people's must make. This is the extra that you got to hope for to make up for hole 12. All right, hole 17. I understand that, John. Life gets busy, gets in the way. So I'm going to use a Kingslayer, because odds are I'm going to have high win. But just in case, I'm going to go ahead and put 70% club, plus 10%. And then put 6.8 there. So I'm going to go 3.2 top, 0.4 right. I'm going to pull back from the plus yardage until I click the plus 0 with the left edge of the yellow at the sand. The right edge will be just onto the fairway, and the guide will be along the left edge of the cup. Thanks for the booms, Hampton. Drake. $6.9. It's going to be 7.3. So 3.2. 0.4. Pulling along the sand. It clicks into the 0. 7.3. We hit perfect. Let's see if we hit the cup. Good first bounce. Good camera view. Get the drop. Dead center. A little bit of left curl there. Just baby curl. I dropped 16. Yeah, so. Now I just dropped 17 as well. So as long as I can get the eagle, I can finally break my minus 27 curse. So I have my iPad. I have my my laptop. I have an extra monitor, my microphone, my Galaxy Tab S7, and my iPhone while doing this. Thanks for the booms, everybody. So I've got a kind of busy desk going on. And when I'm making notes, I'm shooting a shot. And as I'm shooting the shot, I'm recording the previous shot on the iPad. And I'm editing and making the video on the shot before that. So it's a lot going on. And that's why you sometimes see typos. Because I'm trying to do too many things at once. And I'm thinking right curl on the shot I'm taking. But it's left curl on the shot I'm typing in. Okay, so let's get our big topper with 10%. And then make sure we have our horizon. We got big topper and horizon. Ball breaker gadget. It's a lot going on. Now, if my work ever starts picking up and getting super busy to where I'm stacked every day, it's going to be a trouble to get everything done. But as of right now, I can kind of slam everything into 3 days. And just have a little bit here and there on the other days. Thanks a lot. Alright, 7-1. It's going to be 3.9. Max top. Right until it starts to dip down. So we want our top. Yellow at the rough. Ball guide next to the rough. 3.9. Paying attention to how much we overpowered. So just a click. Inner ring curl. Perfect shot. Although it looked barely. It looked like it snapped into it. Now, yes, I am flirting with the rough on this shot, but if you clip the rough, you roll out, and you still can reach it. A no date, no apps. That's a lot of work. Playing on a phone is not easy. I played on an iPhone 6 forever before I finally got this tablet. And when I got this tablet is when I started making the videos, I guess. Yeah, that's about around the time I started making the videos. I got a great deal on it. I guess it was a glitch price on Samsung. But it's like a $1,200 tablet. I got it for $440 with a free pair of headphones. Perfect away. You're welcome, Mo. How did your round go? All right, 7.7. 25% club. So this will set us up around a fringe. 3.1 rings. Yeah, it was an awesome deal. I couldn't pass it up when I saw it. I was surprised too, because it hadn't been out that long. Minus 34. Awesome. That's just dropping everything. That's amazing. On this course, it's phenomenal. I mean, I've gotten minus 34, minus 35s before, but that's like City Park and some of the easier courses. Or whatever Big Top was, I had a minus 36. Still didn't win. Come on, dude, don't spam. You missed. No reason to spam. Now, Mo, is that a tier 3? Because I haven't seen how the tier 3 scores are. I purposely knocked all of mine down to tier 2 by failing the minis. And when I had the minus 36, there was a minus 40 and a minus 38 and a minus 37. I was 4th. That was tier 3, William, which is why I quit playing the minis. Because with free-to-play balls, I just couldn't compete with those guys. So we got a minus 28. We're sitting 3rd. I expect to probably get bumped. But it should hold top 10, which will give me some kingmakers, which I'll need in 2 weeks. Yeah, expert 3. Alright, so let's switch to the fun account. Yeah, expert 3 is so hard to play consistently. And it was eating all of my kingmakers. And I was only getting Kingslayers back. And unless you play, Expert 3, I can't really use Kingslayers for the videos. unless it's going to work the exact same as a Kingmaker. I generally don't, Hampton. It doesn't really bother me that much. As soon as I pull back, it freezes. Most times I forget. Alright, so I put this in Expert. It's not the first time. I think this is the 4th time I've had this in Expert. Yeah, 4th time. It was Tier 2, but a couple mini losses got me down to Tier 1. As you can see from the clubs, we don't have much to work with. I do not know who Goatfather. I believe that's one of Finzel's. The Ministry of Marriage. Alright, good luck. Yeah, I think Goatfather is one of Finzel's. Or at least somebody in his group. Alright, so I already played hole 1. I 360'd out. So we're going to move on to hole 2. So this shot will not work. Well, that's if he finishes it, Mo. You know, sometimes when we make the content, and we have so many accounts, we don't finish all of them. I have another account in the opening round that I didn't finish. I played the 9, and then I moved on. I just didn't have time. Alright, what are we going to do here? That's 122, which isn't enough distance. Let's try it with the Goliath. Let me get my sliders up. Because I do not have these sliders memorized. Alright, so we got Goliath. We're going to see what we come in on. It's level 6. Now I've got to change this. There we go. So 25%, P3, and we'll see our slider when we start the hole. So William, if you go onto Facebook, search for groups, there's one called Golf Clash Ring Bible. And they made a nice little Excel spreadsheet that has every club imaginable. Before that, it was just shared along groups, little slider tables. But this spreadsheet has everything. And I believe Windchum is working on slider tables. At least they asked me for information about it. Oh, you weren't going to play the weekend? So minus 34 should still banner then, right? If you've only got one that's potential to hurt it. So yeah, if you guys don't know about the Golf Clash Ring Bible, I'd check it out. It has sliders, it has wing calculation, it has the number of rings you need for hooks and slices. It has a lot of other stuff, but I really only use it for sliders, for clubs I don't remember. So on one of my other screens, I have an Excel file, and I just pull it up. Alright, so we're at plus 0. Plus 0 is 81%. And 2.5 back, 3 right. That looks close to the same. 7.9 is going to be 4.3. See if it works. We hit perfect. Good first bounce spot. Just a little high. So given that we were probably falling a little further back, would have been better to maybe do 2.5 right spin and 2.8 back. If I was shooting again, that's what I would do. Because the first bounce was about where we wanted it to be. So from there, it's just tweaking the spins. Yeah, tier 3 gold. That's something to brag about. Alright. Let's look at our clubs and figure out what we're going to do here. The extra mile is my longest club, so I'm going to have to go with it. On the second club, we got Cat 2, 176 with 50 top, 180, so we're going to have to go big dog. I got plenty of berserkers, so we're good there. I am not confident that this will work, but we're having fun, and we're going to give it a shot. So this is going to have less top, so I'm going to need to use, and less curl. So I'm going to have to figure out how to adjust for that. But we're probably going to end up is short or similar to the hole 12 drive. I'm going to use the tip of my ball guide at around the little right side of the bend. So this is my process for whenever I play all these holes. When I'm making my shots, I look at old videos that I have, or in old notes that I have. I take Tommy's basic elevation from his website, and then I start there. I look at when the wind comes in, try to formulate a shot plan, take a practice, determine whether or not that practice is going to work, and move on from there. Alright, so max top, max right. Let's see, we got the second bounce up into the white. So about right there. 11.4. It's going to be 5.7. We do get perfect. But let's see if it's got enough oomph to get down there. Just barely. If I'd set up maybe a ring further right or adjusted +0. Now for our second shot, I chose Big Dog. This is max +10 as well. Hey, sometimes we get those rounds where it's just dropping, and then we get in a good mood, and we're hitting perfects, and lining up and pulling everything perfect. It kind of keeps, compiling onto itself that way. When you have stuff go wrong and you can't figure out why, you start beating on yourself. Wonder if I can go this way. That's it. Alright, so it's a little bit of a tailwind, so I can probably clear that. 11 at max is going to be 5.5, and then I'm going to push. Then I'm going to max curl it and max overpower it. Slight grate. Should be okay. We'll see. Worst case, we're in the rough. A little too much curl. It had potential for a shot though. One ball curl probably would have taken me up to EB range. Of course, a Zerk with crosswind, EB3. That's not a makeable shot half the time. Let's get our Nirvana out. Minus 30%. So what are we looking at here? About 55% club. 10.8. 1.9. Glitch roll. So I'm going to push up and use backspin. We hit great, but we didn't have enough top on it anyway. Perfect would have missed short. Yeah, I don't know how these guys go entire rounds, let alone multiple rounds, without hitting great. I'll get distracted. I'll lose count. My count won't be the same. Usually I have to warm up and take a few shots. Let's see what we need here. Minus 29 in tier 1. Okay. So gold's not an option. Minus 20. Oh. Somebody's going up to tier 2. Minus 7 after 5 holes. Anthony, I put mine out there for everybody. I doubt they look at mine because they get theirs out a little quicker. So no, we don't share guides with each other as far. I don't know about Kane, but Golf Class Josh and Finns will work together. They're part of the shot team, the Shade shot team or whatever. So they're together, and Forrest works with them sometimes. But you know, I just do my own thing. I think Kane mostly does his own thing, and Burke, I believe, works with Tommy. Yeah, Kim will definitely be moving to tier 3 in a rush. They're definitely not playing with the clubs that I am. Let's get this Grizzly back in here. So we got 50% elevation. Pull up my slider. It's very easy to move to tier 3. I mean, this account was tier 2 when it first started. The only reason it's tier 1 now is because I haven't played it since the Thanksgiving tournament. And I didn't even play it in the opening round. I played the qualifier, couldn't even get around to it, didn't play the opening round, and failed. So, you know, logged in and failed a couple minis. So it's possible that not playing it got me knocked down. Right. A lot of the rewards for expert and the minis are pretty weak. You know, when you think about what you have to spend in balls and what you use. What I suggest to you, this tournament specifically, is play Masters. They're doing that frozen zone. They're letting 15 of the 20 qualify. So 2.5 left, 0.5 top. See, second bounce is about 4 greens over. So right there. I'm at the plus 6. Plus 6 is 94%. 7.4. It's going to be 10.9. close. Yeah, I quit playing the minis myself because they started making them every week, so I wasn't getting a break. And then on top of that, you know, doing well in the minis and doing it well in Masters in the minis was throwing me up to tier 3 in all of my accounts. Sometimes Josh still does some expert. Just because trying to think of who might do expert for the mini. Radu might do expert for the mini. And Kane usually does at least one expert. But with the mini, if they're qualifying 15 of the 20, then there's people like me who are logging in and not playing it. If you play day 1 master, even in the other account, then if you fail, you just play expert the next day. But I think qualifying 15 of the 20, you have a really good chance if you just finish it, no matter what your clubs are. All right, hole 5. We're definitely not going to be able to do this shot. Well, can get pretty close to it. Got a spirit ball. I could try to utilize that. Yes, winning banners with the baby accounts does. Unless you get lucky with your cards. So, my only account that was tier 3, which I didn't play because I ran out of time. It's got 800 games under its belt, and it's already at APOC 6 because its last win in the major gave it 153 APOC cards. You're welcome, William. The slider charts are amazing. They're very helpful, especially for people like me trying to dial in shots. If I know, this is the number of rings for max, this is this percent I should be at, then I can start working on the elevation. Let's have some fun. So 11-0 is going to be 5.2. Push to max. 1 ball curl. Don't quite have that. Great right anyway, so we're going to end up in the bunker. At least we hit the fairway. But we'll be able to reach the green. Odds were, with not enough curl, we were going to end up in that bunker anyway. Hey Jason, thanks for the good luck. We're just goofing around. We're playing baby clubs and expert. Now this account, I haven't been able to get a driver card to save my life. Right. Well, Josh is usually doing first looks, which just gets on there, and he's just practicing holes. So the thing is he's doing those shots so they can make the guide, and that's why it takes so long, because he has to try all kinds of different shots, try to dial in the shot, and then he sends it to Fenzel, and Fenzel decides what shots he wants. It's good to see that Kane finally started making his text guides. He said he was going to try. I told him he could use my layout if he wanted to, just download it. But he said he had already started working on one. Hole 6. Another one that's pretty impossible with these clubs. Yeah, headwind. Right, Mo. And I don't know if I had anything to do with that, but when I first started making content, the only reason I did is because there was nobody. I mean, Golf Clash India had just left, or they just went paid, and Fenzel was doing Masters, and I think a couple other people were doing Masters. So I started making videos for my clan, and that was 1 year ago when I started for my first videos. 9 months when I started doing it every tournament. .5 rings. But yeah, I only stepped in and started making them for my clan because they were like, post your shots, post your shots. And I'd spend more time posting shots. So I'm like, I'm just going to put them up on YouTube. You guys can watch them. Yeah, the Brandon and Tommy came back, I guess after Fenzel came back and started posting videos. So both of them started posting videos, which is good for the community. It gives people options. And less stress on me if I have something going on. Thanks, Mike. If I have something going on, I don't have to worry about, oh no, nobody's going to have any content. Alright, this is a tailwind. I think a bounce over is probably safer. So let's go a little safer. Prefer to lay up short. Big dog 6. Do minus 10%. 11.3. 4 rings. good. We'll be safe. That should roll back. Yeah, I figured the single videos would make it easier for people who wanted to just look at one hole of mine, not have to force them to have to wade through the entire video or go through the chapters. You know, if you feel you have a shot for a hole and you have it down, you don't need to rewatch the video. You just go to the hole you need. And I don't know if you guys seen, but if you ever go to my playlist, I divide it into every course. So whenever I save the video, I save it into a playlist for the tournament and the tournament round and the course. So I have whole courses with past tournaments on there. I hate those putts where they got a curve like that. Yeah, I get decent views. Not the views per video. You know, they're not super high. But the total views per month. Thanks, Jason. Well, sometimes getting technicals when you're trying to teach someone to do the shot, you know, that's a little different. You're telling them why and how to tweak it. Now, if it's got a lot of moving parts on a shot, people don't tend to like those. Hey, Yofer. Thanks for the good luck. We're playing baby clubs. We're seeing if we can navigate this course. Alright. We got this wind. We got a spirit ball. We're a little shorter, but the extra top. Worst case scenario, we end up in a rough. We shoot a Nirvana. Hello, Jason. Thanks for the good luck. Other Jason. Yeah, I think the content creators really help with the tournaments and probably keep the game going. Because if people were getting frustrated so much and weren't able to look and find help, very nice, Ofer. Minus 29. I wish I had APOC 4. Minus 29 is good. I didn't break minus 29. So you beat me. Minus 28 was my best. Now there's someone in this tier 1 with a minus 29. Alright. So there's our spot. 13.2 is going to be 5.7. Going to push up 5 rings. I'll just max on this one. And I'm going to give as much curl as I can. We hit great right. Hopefully we're not where our opponent is. Yeah. Great left would have been better with that lack of curl. We tried. Hey, Quad, thanks for the good luck. Oh, for our... Usually, my other accounts do better than my main. This time, my main did the best. But this is the first time I think my main has been in Tier 2. For quite a while. Yeah, I used Luminary on 6. Just because it's a better option, but... Forgot to see how far it was. 25%. 13.1. 25%. One ring. Slight grape. Hopefully the curve helps. We're gonna get cheated. Perfect dropped it. That's fine, Quad. I'd like to see that. You could have sent it to me beforehand so I could shoot him. Although, like many of you, I'm not very great at following directions. Hey, Jesse. I always get that from a lot of people. I can't follow direction. It's like I can't either. Yeah, some of the Tier 3 scores are up there. Too bad we didn't get that one. That would have been a nice drop. Yeah, well, I'm the one that didn't hit perfect. It definitely would have dropped with perfect. It was a little hot. Nirvana 4 doesn't have the ball guide. Of course, if I hit great left like I planned on, I wouldn't have been in that situation. I gotta go back and get sniper. There we go. I'm just gonna use sniper 10 numbers here. Hope for the best. Your phone won't charge. That's no good. So, Jesse, how did you do? If you're still here. Oh, the ball that was just the monkey ball or whatever it was. I don't even look at the stats of the paid balls. That's good advice, Mo. take a toothpick, kind of clean out the charging port. Oh, okay. Okay. Old phone for a game. Alright, 2.1 top, 0.7 right. Of course, we get king win. That looks about like our spot. 9.1 is going to be 10.5. There's 10. 0.5. We got it perfect. We got the rough. But we were way high. I must have had a 1201 instead of 1159. So the way we used to clean them when I worked at Radio Shack, we had this little brush, this little electronic cleaning brush, like had fiberglass bristles, and you can get in there and clean out charging ports and stuff. Depending on the type of port you have, you can also very gently and carefully use a toothpick to look for lint. Hey T-Bone, thanks for the good luck. Thanks for the good luck too, John K. We've already played all of our main accounts. Now we're playing our goof off account. So hole 9. Well, I'm pretty positive I can't pull this shot off with a Titan. So let's try a Berserker. The good thing about it is we got a tailwind for the second shot. So as long as I get decently down, I should be able to at least bounce over for a wedge. If you have compressed air, you can spray a little of that in there too. Because often with phones, lint and grime just from pockets collect into the charging ports. Or humidity can cause a little bit of corrosion on the contacts. There we go. I'll show my age. Pretend it's a Nintendo cartridge. Just blow it out. Air duster could work if it's something in there. Now, if it's something that's kind of stuck, it wouldn't work. $11.9. It's going to be 6 rings. I don't have as much top, or as much curl. So hopefully a little great right will give us that extra curl, or cause us to miss it altogether. Should have just went with perfect. It did work. When you take the phone case off of it, charges better. Air duster is the compressed air. Uh-oh. So my sound got all laggy there. Restart my headphones. So is my sound still out? Or is everything working okay for you guys? And 8-track tape? No, I didn't have any 8-track tapes. Nice shot by our opponent there to get his eagle. We were going to miss ours. Now for the Nintendo, what I would use is we had like a little felt pad. Let me shoot this shot and I'll say it. So we'd take rubbing alcohol on a Q-tip or a little felt pad and rub it back and forth to clean the contacts. Okay. My headphones went out. It got all glitchy. So I don't know if, that caused a problem on your end. That's fine. I just won't be able to monitor myself. As long as you guys can hear me. Now, I still have a couple Nintendos myself. And about 50 or 60 games. And I have a couple Ataris. A ColecoVision. And I have pretty much every system all the way up to the PS3 and Xbox 360. Alright, let's get our Titan back out. Or Titan, but Kingmaker. The radio, no. They're AKG headphones. Hey, the Radio Shack stuff was good stuff usually. They didn't make their own products. They just rebranded other people's products. So a lot of stuff from Radio Shack, like speakers, were actually Pioneer or Peavey. A regular NES can vary. I've seen them go for high for some reason, but I mean, I didn't pay much for mine. I mean, it really depends on what you have with it as far as whether or not it's worth anything. But if it's just a basic regular NES, no box or anything like that, I would say maybe 50 to 75. Well, I picked most of mine up at yard sales and stuff because, you know, my mom sold mine when I was a kid to buy my younger brothers their systems. So when I found the ColecoVision, it was actually, I was just driving down, I saw a yard sale, and I stopped, and they had a bunch of Atari games and a ColecoVision, all from like a children's hospital from a long time ago. And I bought all of it for like $8. And they might have had Pong. That's one I don't have. I don't have Pong, and I don't have a Commodore 64. I passed up a Commodore 64 because they wanted too much money on it one time. So 8.1 is going to be 3.8. I'm going to push the max, and I'm going to need some overpower on this one. And this is half ball curl. I still have the Atari 20. I do have the Atari 2600 and a bunch of games down there. But the Coleco also plays Atari games. And I have a Nintendo 64 and a GameCube and a Dreamcast, and the rarest thing I probably have is a Game Gear. That's a blue Game Gear. It was a special Sonic the Hedgehog edition. It's Coleco Vision. So it was a game console where you slid these little cards over a numbered keypad, and, you know, basically the numbered keypad controlled what was going on in the game. A working Dreamcast is probably rare. That's possible. They didn't sell a lot of those. They weren't very popular. So the Game Gear is like the Game Boy, except for it was Sony's version, but it was way better than a Game Boy. So the Game Boy was cheap, you know, that's why it won out. But a Game Gear was color, and it was a bigger screen, and it could also be used as a television. So they were pretty cool. The best 64 game. GoldenEye was one of the best. We had so much fun playing GoldenEye. And Star Fox was always fun. Oh, Sega, not Sony. You're correct, Jesse. Yeah. Mario Kart 64 was fun also. Those were great games. And the original Mario Land that come with it was fun. The game I probably spent the most time on would be probably Nintendo. Trying to beat the Ninja Turtle game. That thing was hard. There was no save points. You had to go from start to finish. You only had 4 lives. And I actually, another thing I had that was rare until they found the stockpile in the garbage, I had the Atari ET game. Yeah, the Game Gear did take a lot of batteries. Yeah, I have a black one and I have the blue Sonic edition. I almost bought the yellow Pokemon edition, but they wanted too much money. I still have my Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, the odd Game Boy Advance that played both Game Boy Advance games and Game Boy games. It's like a in between years. Blitz. I want to say that was Sega because they did the NBA Jam and the off games like that. All right, so 2.4 right, 2.7 back. We got 8.0. Gonna find our spot right there. And 8.0 is going to be 8.6. We got the cracked wind angle that pulls us into the bunker. And yeah, NBA Jam was fun to play. Firefox was a great game. And the Mario 3 was pretty groundbreaking because the graphics given at the time, Mario 3, pre-PlayStation. So Firefox was one of the games that often came with the original 64. And it was a multiplayer flight game that you do like air battles, so it's kind of like a Mario Kart in that way. But it was a fun group game. I never played it solo. Oh yeah, you can definitely beat Mario 3 quick. When I found out about the warp whistles, it was a game changer. That's back when Coca-Cola used to put Mario 3 not cheat codes, but like the hidden stuff under the labels. But then you would miss some of the great worlds if you use the warp whistles. Mario 1 had warp also, and so did Mario 2. I think World 4 was probably one of my favorite ones on Mario 3, and 7, the air one. It was hard. Also played a lot of Mega Man because Mega Man was fun to play. Alright, we need to get our big dog back in our bag. Yeah, with the warp whistles, because you didn't really have a lot of choices on what worlds you would miss some of the more fun, strange worlds. Like the one where you can turn into a little statue and the things can walk right past you. That's a good list there, Mo. Yeah, some of those original Nintendo games were pretty impossible. I mean, they were made to be hard on purpose because a lot of them were originally arcade games. And if they made the arcade game beatable, you know, you wouldn't keep putting quarters in. Yeah, Mega Man was really good. It got a little, I think when it got to the GameCube and the Dreamcast, those Mega Men weren't very good. But the originals, they were great. Tomb Raider was fun to play. Oh, the first Mortal Kombat. Yes. Now, I didn't get to play it a lot, but I had a friend who had a Sega, so we would go over there and play Mortal Kombat. And Sonic the Hedgehog. Because we had Nintendo. So 8.6 is going to be 4.1. We're going to need overpower here. So we got to try to hit perfect. Slight great left usually is okay, but with extra mile 6, you never know. That's a problem with these clubs and this accuracy. Alright, Quad. After I get done here, I'll take a look over it and I'll reply back to you tomorrow on it. So, how did you guys like having the picture of the notes in the videos that I did on the weekend round? Did it work better for you? Was it readable? Was it nice to have just like the still images of the landing spots and the wind charts? Alright, I'm not going to reach that in headwind. So let's attempt this slice. I believe Big Dog 6 is 19 rings. There's 10. We'll go 18. Because that seems like a lot. Hey, that actually worked. On the fly slicing. I'm no Sabo. Okay. I'll try to keep that in mind to do. You know, basically because of I use Premiere Pro, I just had to have MS Paint open and then paste a screenshot of it in and then save the file and load it in pretty quickly. Yeah, no internet back then to look up all those games. I still have my my Zelda Gold cartridge in the basement. Alright, so we're at max. Let's pull back a couple rings just to give room to adjust. Put some top on. 8.4 is going to be 4.8. Uh-oh, we hit max at 4. Just going to have to put some curl on it. Boom, over the cup and too hot. That's the problem when you don't have a guide. I thought two squares short was enough. But nope. RBI Baseball. That one doesn't sound familiar. Yeah, slicing's fun. It can help you out of a lot of situations. Yeah, Reddit and Google probably really help with the games and the Easter eggs until, you know. I have no clue what the gold one is worth. And it's not the only gold game, which is interesting. So I think there are 4 games that are worth more than $1,000. Of course, the most expensive one for a Nintendo Classic is the original Stadium Olympics that came with the game for the first few months before they got sued for using the name Olympics. After that, it is 3 X-rated video games out of Japan. I don't remember what year Zelda came out. I doubt I had internet then. Alright, so 2 left, 0.9 top. We're going to try to eyeball where inline is, based off of trying to use the same bounce spots as the previous. 8.3. Maybe 12. Yeah, Slice on Nirvana. I played a Slice on Nirvana in the on hole 9 on the last tournament, I believe it was. I got into the rough and the trees were in the way, so I sliced it around the trees to get onto the green. Oh yeah, those you can look it up and Google it. It's basically the same games you find at bars at the little tabletops, but they were, you know, like play the game puzzles to reveal a picture. And they were X-rated for the Nintendo from out of Japan. I think I was in middle school when we got a computer. And for a while there, we had our computer being used as a BBS, so that's pre-internet. And where people would dial into other people's computer in order to play the games on their computer. But you had to make sure you had call waiting turned on, because you get kicked off of everything. The only real computer game I played much on that computer was Leisure Suit and Larry. If any of you guys remember that one. It looks like we're starting to get a few bots in the chat. But yeah, Leisure Suit and Larry was a fun game. It was one of those ones where, it acted like it was trying to keep you from playing it by making you answer 5 questions to prove how old you were. Which nowadays you could just Google the answers, but back then you just did trial and error until you got the answers right. Oh, you got that next time. It's fine. We were definitely the remote control for our TV at home. Click, 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 click as you turn the channel. I remember when we got a cheater box off of somebody one time and we got free cable. That was nice. .5 rings. An interesting documentary called High Score. I'll have to look into it. Or the, waking up Saturday morning to try to watch cartoons before anyone else woke up because you know that as soon as your parents got up, the channel was getting changed and you weren't allowed to watch what you wanted to watch. Or thinking your dad was asleep. You go and you change the channel to something you want to watch. I'm watching that. Alright, let's see if we can reach. Alright, we're in plus yardage, which is always nice. Alright, so we're at plus 7. Plus 7 is 97%. We got 7.1, so we luckily got low wind. May not reach. Let's get risky and push it up a little bit more. 7 rings. Odds are this doesn't drop and it stops short, but it's worth it. Oh, I forgot to aim right side of the pin. I actually had enough speed. Gotta remember, aim right side of that pin, everybody. The history of gaming or games. I think there was another one too. Maybe I watched part of that. Is that the one where they had the people who used to work for Nintendo Power and their job was pretty much just to play video games, and you call in and they'd walk you through how to beat the game? And we're gonna sound old with this saying, but yeah, kids today, you can have cartoons 24/7, watch whatever you want 24/7. You didn't have to sit and watch Roseanne because that's what your parents wanted to watch. Yeah, the basic cable channels would go off the air at midnight. But I do remember that I'd often be able to watch The Twilight Zone or Tales from the Crypt or Tales from the Dark Side around midnight. Alright. I don't think there's much we can do about this hole. I don't think I can get across. We'll take a Zerk. We'll see what we can do. But I'm pretty sure I can't clear this rough. Could be the same one. I remember watching part of it. I may not have finished it. Yeah, ended with the national anthem. And then just that logo. I just don't think I can make this. Pretty sure I'm gonna get stuck in the rough. .5. We hit great. That's not very good based off of where we were set up. Nope. Not enough oomph with the EM6. Alright, Mo. Good night. Have a great night. Nice talking to you. Glad you stopped by and chatted. No, I haven't heard of Angry Video Game Nerd. You liked Roseanne. It had its moments, I guess. I mean, I guess it had enough for them to bring it back. APOC 6 in Tier 1. Well, and this is Tier 1 here, and somebody, clan or account named Amy, scored a -29. So it's funny stuff. I'm assuming video games and older games. Can't believe we didn't clear that. Hit perfect and all. Oh, you mean this guy that we're playing, APOC 6 in Tier 1. And special balls at that. Yeah, I would not have even played this tournament if it wasn't for this being Tier 1. Because I knew this account had no chance on most of these holes. Needed just a little bit of overpower. Because, like, you know, if any kind of headwind on any of the par 5s with EM6, it's just unreachable. Eagle is a hedgehog, Eaglecott. The clan president of the Ballbreakers clan wrote a children's book called Lickle Eagle. And so he made an account called Lickle Eagle. And so I jokingly made Eagle 2. And then he made Eagle 3. So then I made Eagle TOO. And we go back and forth. And, you know, just that's all of our alts kind of have that in it. And then I have one, and then we started using other languages. So I made Igokot and I made Rikio, which both mean hedgehog in other languages. And like we the first time he pretended to be somebody else with the name and I didn't catch on to it, and then I did the same thing back to him. So it's just a running gag within our clan. Because for the longest time, it was just me and him and like 5 accounts until we got up to Masters 3. And then we started actually getting players in. Plus, creating new accounts, even if you don't play them for long, kind of when you know the fundamentals of the game that you know later on, it's a lot easier to do well with a new account. You'll find that you progress a lot quicker and you win a lot more with the new account than you ever did with your main account, because you already know so much. And then some of these accounts were created before you had the option to practice. So they were created only so I could take practice shots, or so he could take practice shots on a tournament. So that way our main would get decent scores. I'm not knocking the use of money balls. There's nothing wrong with using a money ball. I was just saying he's in tier 1. And he's got APOC 6. But then again, there's somebody with a minus 29. I mean, technically, wasn't this ball a money ball at one point? I think they sold this a while back. I mean, if it wasn't for like this ball, I would never have a chance at thinking I could get this over. I really still don't, but it's worth a shot. Ooh, that's going to end up in rough. Not even going to miss the fairway. Start them and sell them until the crackdown. Well, that's a pretty good price. I mean, people still sell accounts. I think there's a Facebook group for it. I think a lot of people play better on their secondary accounts. I guess maybe not as much pressure. Don't know what it is, but I hear that a lot from a lot of people, that they did better on their baby accounts. That was a long time ago. I know for a while there they used to, they didn't have any kind of rule against it. Until I guess somebody got caught. Not only were they selling accounts and creating accounts to sell, but they were, in order to build them up quicker, they were playing themselves in tournaments and forfeiting to themselves, so that way their one they were creating would get the win and get the club cards. I didn't see it, but somebody had mentioned that one of the shots of the week was an APOC 8 with a money ball on hole 7, getting a hole-in-one in rookie. Yeah, some of my accounts have a couple of I got the wrong ball. A couple of money balls, but it was mainly I bought them to get bought the pack to get the gems and the card. Like there was one time forever I was on APOC 4 on one account, and I broke down and bought a $5 pack, hoping to get an APOC card, because I wanted to see if paid cards got, you know, better chance. Of course, I didn't get the APOC card. No. Yeah, it's hard to play multiple. I really need to cut down how many I actually play on the weekend and just let them, you know, fail in the weekend. Because lately, in order to make the guides, I've been using 3 accounts. And I have to kind of rotate them because the 3 accounts I use for one tournament, it kind of uses up all their practice tokens and a lot of their gems. So the next tournament, I use 3 different accounts in order to do the practice tokens and the shots. I mean, the practice has really allowed us to dial it in, but it really has caused me to have to use a lot more, you know, kingmakers and the practice tokens and gems. And since they took away the pins and I don't have time to do all of the challenges, I don't build up my gems like I used to. Yeah, when I first started out, I had no idea. I was just goofing around on my phone. 3.2 top, 0.4 right. $9.1, it's going to be 9.6. Well, at least I hit the, gonna stop shorting it. Shorten in line. Or no, a little to the right. $12 to 14 hours a day. I mean, on tournament weekends, I don't put in that, but I put in quite close to it sometimes. You know, last night when I started making the front 9 notes, I got home and got started probably around 7:30 and played till 3:30. Yeah, the qualifier packs are really kind of the best deal if you're getting gems and you just get the kingmakers. All right, man. Good luck, Mike. Got just one last hole. It'll make a big difference in the score, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. Like I said, this baby account. We're not going to break top 50 with it. Oh, let's get out the big topper 3. I can use the big topper 3 on this. There we go. I didn't use that on 9. Why didn't I use big topper on 9? That was a stupid mistake. Big topper's perfect club. Yeah, all of my accounts got relegated because I didn't play enough of them. Well, hopefully you get that gold, Mike. Good luck with it. Alright, let's see. 8.2. It's going to give us 3.7 rings. See, even though this club is small, it can do this shot because Big Topper 3 can still do it. You just got to overpower it. Oh, I know some of those guys have probably put in a lot more time than me. You don't have to have lots of counts to be good, Quad. Just, take the time to understand the fundamentals and you'll do great. Learn the sliders and the elevations and the tweaks. I think Golf Clash has actually made more wind angles these last two tournaments. So they were sticking to mainly 3 wind angles, but lately I've been noticing more than 3. And these last 2 tournaments, the scores have been lower. I mean, I know the courses are a little harder, but with more wind angles, it just seems kind of coincidental. Oh, wrong club. Ooh, that was close to the edge. We're going to get the speed roll off the green, aren't we? That's a bad way to end it. That grate just got me that glitch spot. You'll get there, Quad. It just takes time. Yes, having, videos and content really does make the tournaments a little easier. I think if everybody had to sit and try to figure it all out on their own from scratch, I mean, Golf Clash didn't want that or they wouldn't have made clans. That was the whole point of clans. Let's give myself a little room for great. Hey, I got perfect. We get to finish with an eagle on a par 5. Tweaks. So whenever I post a shot where I'm not dropping it and they're just on the edge, you can kind of look at how I pulled it, how many rings I pulled, the pull angle, and say, okay, maybe if I give it a little baby left curl, it'll drop. Or if I pull a 1201 instead of a 12, I'll get the drop. That's what I mean by tweaks. Way you can tweak the shot that I post in order to get it to work. Thanks for the boom. Oh, there were some crazy scores. They were just in tier 3 only. As Mo said earlier, he got a minus 34. And on this course, I think that's running away with it. But, I mean, as you can see here in Tier 1, minus 14, minus 28, minus 29. With only 164 games. That's crushing it right there. Only 9 hole-in-ones and 3 albatrosses. Let's see how many they got on this account. So there's a hole-in-one. There's an albatross. Another hole-in-one. Three. So almost all their hole-in-ones came from this tournament. That's clearly an alt. That's clearly someone bringing up an alt. But really good score. I'd like to know what their clubs are at that young. Because how many games do I have? 414. Let me see what my clubs are. Yeah, he said minus 34. He said everything was just dropping. Hey, we get to upgrade our Nirvana. But, I mean, most of mine fell along this line. You know, minus 27. And then I had the main get the minus 28. As you can see, all the Eagle names. This is where we park our alternates. There's a few people in here who aren't, that just, you know, looking for a laid-back clan where they can just kind of do what they want to do and not have any pressure. But we made this clan just so we can park our alts. That's the thing that holds me back the most too, Quad, is hitting perfects. You know, you see sometimes that I post videos and I'm dropping every single hole. But if you look at, you know, it's rotating which account is getting that drop. It's just kind of funny that's the way it works. Now, I've had accounts where it's like every drop is on one account. The time I got a minus 19 on 9, that account was just dropping everything. And of course, that minus 19 has only happened to me twice. And one of the times I blew it. Ended up 4th place. Well, I'm glad that you got some drops. Yeah, that would be Ankit, Jason. He's that's probably his Piccoloberg account, the one with the picture of Baby Yoda. So it's one of his alts. And yeah, I mean, the guy can play. And then when you get the golds, you get more cards. And if you get lucky, you get the right cards. So let me switch to my youngest account that I didn't play this time, but I normally play. And I'll show you the stats on it. So this is the Eagle TOO. And this was the one that was tier 3 that I only played till hole 9 and then I just quit. because I had too many other accounts that I needed to play. So it has 844 games. You know, last season you could see it did 8,000 CP, and that's only from tournaments. And, you know, I got lucky from my cards. You know, I have APOC 6, but only Extra Mile 8. You know, Big Dog 8, Guardian 8, my Goliath is still a 7. But yet, I got APOC 6 and Sniper 10, which helps me in most of my accounts. Oh, that is weird, Jesse. Maybe it was just a little glitchy thing with YouTube. But yes, it was a tough course, Jason. No, Quad, I don't really think if you want to continuously win gold, and if you want to, say, maybe win gold along the upper elite, say tier 3 or masters, yes, you need the better clubs and the balls help. But you don't have to have them. I mean, have I ever bought anything on this account? Yes, one time. Or 2 times. I bought, I mean, how long ago was that ball out? I've used it maybe 3 times. And I've used one of those. So I spent $5 each of those 2 times. Everything else is free balls. And I take some golden shots. So, you know, golden shots help too. But, you know. That was this account. Or this time. Because I didn't play it. But, and so you don't have to, you know, it's just when you see shots that someone's posting, it's just understanding how to make that shot work for the clubs you have. You know, you look at the drive distance, the accuracy, and shift it. So like most of my pictures you see are APOC 6. In order for it to work with an APOC 7, you have to move a little further away because an APOC 7 has smaller rings. I haven't gotten that lucky many times, Jason, but you know, that 153 APOC cards on the major, that helped. You know, the first gold on this one came when I had APOC 4 and finally got Sniper 10. And then when I got APOC 5 is when I got this one. And I've played some Masters with it, but not done well. And I was in Tier 3 for a while too with it. And you see, for the Thanksgiving tournament, I didn't play it. I didn't finish it. Didn't finish that one. I played that one out. So, I mean, it's just a matter of how you want to do. If you just want to kind of play to have fun and every now and then you get a good result, you don't need to worry about spending money on it. You know, you just take the time, do a little bit of the research into the differences in the clubs. I'm thinking about starting a like a every other week series where I put a poll on what people would like to learn, and then, like, you know, for example, one day, you know, one of the videos will be understanding slices and how to slice and hook. You know, one on sliders and how sliders work and how to count rings. That kind of content, it's a little bit out there, but it can be hard to find. So I was thinking of trying to team up with some of the other streamers, and we record like every other week an episode and just discussing that stuff and doing friendly match where we can take our time to set it all up. So accuracy affects the size of your rings. The more accurate your club, the smaller the rings. So APOC 6, let me pull up that. So we'll look at the accuracy. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. I want a notebook. Oh, I forgot the word golf. All right, so clubs, drivers, Apocalypse. So an Apocalypse 5 and 6 have an accuracy of 75. So what that means when I'm setting something up, if I say blue ring at the rough on a APOC 5 or 6, then that accuracy is 75. But if you look, APOC 7 is an accuracy in 84. That 10% accuracy is about a half a ring. APOC 8 is just a little larger than that. So it would be set up almost the white ring at the rough. APOC 7 would be half of the clear ring at the rough. And then on the other end of the spectrum, with the 4, you could still set up with the blue ring at the rough, but you could probably get away with, you know, a quarter of the blue ring in the rough and still be safe. Yeah, the $5 packs aren't bad. Like I said, a couple of my accounts have bought a $5 pack purely because I needed the gems, or I wanted to try to get a card. All right, I'll start. What I have to do is find somebody who wants a, because there has to be a friendly match, you know, in order to really get the time to reset up the shots over and over and over again. So, but I thought it would be a good idea, and I think it would help a lot of people, because a lot of people, they see the shots, but they don't understand, well, what if I have a different club, or why does that work? So yeah, I think slices and hooks and sliders should be really the first two, because I know sliders and slicing and hooks are two of the things people struggle the most with. But I'm going to go ahead and get off here. I've got work in the morning. I prefer accuracy and ball guide, and distance, the length of the club. Those are, you know. But everybody have a good night. Good luck for those of you that still have to finish. And for those of you don't, I hope you all hold wherever you're at. On, you know, if you're holding podium, hope he stays that way. Later, everyone.